Once again, welcome to Africa Live. Great to have you along with me for this hour. We begin in Afghanistan, where Taliban co-founder Mullah Abdul Ghani Baradar has arrived for talks on forming what officials say is meant to be an inclusive government. Meanwhile, many foreign nationals and Afghans seeking to leave the country remain stuck at the checkpoints on the way to the airport. The emergency airlift from Kabul is gaining speed amid criticism Western governments acted too slowly in the run-up to the Taliban's takeover of the capital. Taliban officials say the chaos at the airport is not their fault. Meanwhile, Pentagon officials say the U.S. military has sent special forces in helicopters past the U.S. secured airport perimeter to help stranded U.S. citizens. So far, the U.S. had evacuated more than 13,000 people. Meanwhile, anti-Taliban forces say they have recaptured 3 districts in northern Afghan province of Banglan. It's about 180 kilometers north of Kabul. The resistance forces say they're also moving towards other districts. Dozens of Taliban fighters were reportedly killed or injured. It's the first assault launched against the Taliban since they took Kabul last weekend. Well, CGTN Zamaria Lai Abazin is standing by in Kabul for the latest on this. Zamaria Lai, welcome to Africa Live. Thank you for your time. Evacuation continues from Afghanistan, but access to the airport remains difficult. What's the situation now over there?
Hello, Richard. This is a really tough situation. The chaos, as you mentioned, still continues in Kabul airport and all around the airport. At the same time, foreign missions in Kabul and the hub areas, there are a lot of people reaching their number, thousands in different parts of the city that they are seeking refuge and want to flee the country. And at the same time, within the capital's airport, there are still crowds, there are still chaos and terrified people. I received messages from the friends that their relatives were stuck inside now with no food, no water, and no credit cards, and their phones are almost down. And this situation continues while there is no certain fate for those who want to flee the country, and the evacuees are still in a very bad condition. And that's why they are also complaining about the U.S. forces inside the airport and the Taliban that are standing in front of the door. But the Taliban authorities in Kabul said they have no problem with those who are fleeing the country. First, they will advise them to never leave the country because they said they want to assure them that they will not be harmed. But the people are in chaos and terrified. They are not assured about Taliban pledges and promises and whatever they say to them. That's why the rush still continues.
All right, disturbing scenes we are witnessing on the screen there, Maria Live. But we are also seeing an armed resistance against the Taliban. Now, who are these anti-Taliban forces? And also, what is the latest from the battlefront?
Another saga already started in Afghanistan war scenario. Son of Ahmad Shah Massoud, Ahmad Massoud is on the scene with former Vice President Amrullah Saleh, and they have besieged their forces in northern provinces, particularly in Panjshir as a central area of command. And Baghlan, there are many reports which are saying that at least 3 districts are collapsed to these resistant forces, which is called Resistant 2, and already Junior Massoud or Ahmad Massoud have clarified that they will combat Taliban, and he has already asked United States and other Western countries to support them in regard to weaponry and ammunition. That's what's going on. And at the same time, in neighboring province, Parwan, there are also some activities reported from the resistant and the Taliban. They are not stepping up yet, but there are also reports about some injuries and fatalities due to the continuous war. And the Taliban leadership has continuously saying that they don't want enmity with anybody. This comes at a time that Hamid Karzai and Dr. Abdullah met some Panjshiri leaders and religious elders and commanders just Friday, and there are still continuous efforts to make a deal with them and avoid the war, but it's uncertain because that resistance side is focusing on coming in a position and conflict with the Taliban.
All right,
Richard.
Zamrialaya Bazin, thank you very much for the very latest from Kabul.